advocating for women's rights and taking a progressive stand for all members of our society. Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Laurel Hess and this is Comcast Newsmakers. Joining me now is the president of the National Council of Jewish Women, Greater Detroit Section, Suzanne Simon. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Women's rights is not the only thing that your organization advocates for, but it is certainly on the top of the list. But really, your organization is all about progressively sort of affecting everyone's rights.
I think when you talk about women's rights, you always end up talking about children and families also. We have 1,700 members locally, we have 90,000 across the country, and we work for social justice and individual rights of freedom and freedoms for all of our members through philanthropy, education, community service, and advocacy. And the big topic now in everyone's mind is health care, and certainly there are so many issues that affect women in the health care issues. The issue of being able to make medical decisions for herself, the insurance to cover so that she can stay home when she's sick or her children are sick without fear of losing pay, the issue of comprehensive and medically accurate sex education. There are so many health issues that affect women and their children and families. But even when we look at the overwhelming issues of poverty, we have services for seniors, Meals on Wheels for seniors. We have services where we provide 1,000 backpacks for homeless children in Oakland County. We have just today received an award from Detroit Public Schools because we do tutoring and weekly tutoring and reading to children and provide free books for children in a Detroit public school. And so, and our newest endeavor now is our back to school store that will happen this summer on August the 10th. We will be providing 250 Detroit youngsters with a complete set of clothing, pants, shirts, socks, underwear, jackets, shoes, backpack filled with supplies that they will buy themselves. They will pick out on their own for free, and books, and they will take them home and give them a good start on a very successful school year. So we have lots of programs that we hope to help families and women with.
Does poverty, do the issues associated with poverty affect women and children more than a man? Although when I think of a homeless shelter, you tend to think of them as full of men, but that's not really the case.
No, poverty affects women much more than men usually, because the women are usually the head of one single parent homes. The other issue is unequal pay. For 25 years, our organization has been fighting this issue where right now in Michigan, a woman earns 74 cents for every dollar a man earns who does the same job. It takes a woman a whole year plus till April 10th to equal the same salary. We are one of the poorest in the nation on this issue, and we've been working on it a very long time. If you think of it this way, I interviewed an engineer, a woman who had just graduated. Her starting salary was $7,000 below her male counterpart. That affects her for her whole life because all the increments and everything start with that. So it then affects families and children. So these are big issues.
They are, and I would imagine you're fighting them in Lansing as well as grassroots on that level as well. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thanks for all the fighting and the good work that you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
For more information on today's topic, you can head to ncjwgds.org. Today's Comcast Newsmaker was Suzanne Simon, the president of the National Council of Jewish Women, Greater Detroit Section.